Okay, I think we're on. Let me check where I'm sitting. That looks okay. I don't want to get in your road here, Neil. Hello, everyone. Already 10,000 people watching. Incredible.
10. You're out of bed already.
I know. Hang on, let me just flick around. Or at least one person's on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Neil Hawker here with me today. I'm very excited. How are you, Neil?
I'm well.
How's your coffee?
My coffee's awesome. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. Yeah, good.
Noah.
It was there when I walked in.
JB. Yeah, well, that's how we do it. I said to JB, not that I'm a hard boss or anything, but I said, get that coffee here for Neil, or otherwise Neil will kick your butt down those stairs into the alley. That's how he works.
Man, he's bigger than me now.
He
so,
is.
Yeah,
he's massive. Every time he comes in, it's like, how tall are you? You're 5'11". Okay, next week.
Yeah.
You're 6'4".
Yeah, I know.
How did that happen?
Yeah, Melbourne United player, I reckon.
He's a huge beast. Oh, you were at the football last night?
I was at the rugby league last night, which is weird in summertime.
Yeah,
it's really weird because everyone's wearing nylon jerseys and the weather's warm and it's kind of a bit stinky in the stadium.
Bit sticky, yeah. It wasn't too bad though. Would have been all right.
It was pretty good. It was coolish for a summer night. But
my friends in now you're from a hot part of the world as well, Sydney. Originally.
Hot.
I'm from Queensland, so it's probably not. It's probably not as hot as Queensland.
No. I used to live in Lismore, up near Byron.
Is that where you studied?
I did some study up there.
Okay, and that's now Jim Kelly was teaching up there.
Jim Kelly was there for a long time, and while I was there too.
Right.
But I think he's kind of semi-retired from the teaching side of things, and he's running a studio up there called the Tone Ranger. He's a pun master, Jim.
Good name. Good name.
Hi,
cool.
Jim. Nice pun yet again.
Jim, we hope you're watching. And you went to uni with Mr. Jason Liakos as well? Is that
Jason
right?
Liakos, yeah. So he's a good buddy of mine, and I've lived in Melbourne since '03, and there was a wave of musicians who graduated from that course who came down here all at the same time, and Jace was around about then too. So we've played with each other on and off over the years, done some gigs, and
you're in a band called Pickpocket with him.
Yeah, Pickpocket, a jazz funk group led by bass player Craig Strain, Scottish guy.
Yes.
And yes, I won't do any Sean Connery action.
Apache and I Washington. I'll do it now. Apache and I Washington. Bye, Church.
Terrible.
That's the terrible. Sorry.
But that's kind of like my parallel life to the blues. I play for Pickpocket, doing the original jazz funk thing. Yeah. Sort of a snarky puppy inspired thing.
Yes.
So most of the majority of the music's written by Craig.
Yep.
And there's also a Tower of Power tribute band.
That's
called Off the Leash.
That's some fair playing.
Yeah.
Are you doing some tracks off Back to Oakland?
I think we are. But
I love that record.
If you press me for a song title off that album, my
Oakland Stroke.
No, we don't do Oakland Stroke. But
okay.
my nerddom about which song is off which album is not at that level yet. But
okay.
Definitely stuff from. I think we're doing something from a lot of stuff from Back on the Streets, and a lot of the stuff we're doing is the arrangements from the live album from '98.
Right.
Which came out, which was Soul Vaccination Live.
Right.
So we base a lot of the arrangements on that, but we're doing, Don't Change Horses in the middle of the stream.
Oh, I love that song.
All that kind of stuff. But, we're playing at White Night tonight.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
2 a.m. gig.
2 a.m. A nice one for the kids.
Yes.
Bring your children.
We're flogging it as the Soul and Souvlaki gig.
That's very Melbourne.
It's extremely Melbourne. So it's on the corner of Lonsdale and Russell Street, outside Stalactites Greek restaurant there.
Okay. Lonsdale and Russell. Get yourself a
2
kebab.
a.m. So I'm guessing everyone's going to be half cut by then. So it's kebab and soul time, and
that will be sweet.
Yeah, but anyway, enough about the parallel universe.
No. So how did you? Now you've got a little record I want to talk about, but how did you? Have you been playing since you were a kid, or
since I was about 15, 16?
Right.
So not too early.
Yeah.
In the piece. like most kids in the early 90s, I started off as a heavy metal player.
Yeah.
And playing every thrash metal thing I can get my hands on. And
like Satriani.
love a bit of Satriani.
Bit of Satch, yeah.
And all the heavy guys like Megadeth and Metallica and all that kind of stuff. But all those guys from the late 80s through to that kind of period were super great players as well. So I was a big fan of like, and then it sort of morphs into Alan Holdsworth and which I cannot get anywhere near. That was a phase I went through in my teens where I had the saturated tone and I can kind of get those lines happening.
That legato stuff going.
It's all gone.
I love that. It's on YouTube. You can get it. It's Holdsworth. Is it Tokyo Dream or Live in Tokyo or something like that? It's 84. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's killer. It's so good. And just his economy for like he never broke a sweat.
No,
you know? It's just pure left-hand economy. Yeah.
I'll tell you my Holdsworth story very quickly.
Yes, I knew you had a Holdsworth story.
I need to know. Yeah. So I'm walking out of my apartment building and I'm going through the mail room.
Yep.
And the mailman is putting a guitarist magazine in my letterbox, you know. Yeah. So I happened to be there. I said, "Oh, thank you, sir. I'll take that."
Yep.
And he said, "You like guitar then, do ya?" Oh, that's my Yorkshire accent.
Northerner accent.
Northern, a Geordie.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I do. He said, "Do you know Alan Holdsworth?" I said, "I do. I mean, I love Alan Holdsworth." Yeah. It's like, I used to play with Alan Holdsworth. He was in my band or something. And I said, "What?" Said, "Yes, Idgeon Bottom's Wrench was our first record." And I said, "Oh, okay, well," so I get to work and I Google it. Sure enough, it's him, a picture of him and Holdsworth and the band and this sort of thing. And he moved out to Australia in the 70s. He worked for Australia Post and he's recently retired. So, hello, Mr. Michael Skelly, if you're watching. He lives out at Eltham, or he might have moved from there, but he still does some bass stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, maybe actually Craig Strain from Pickpocket and Off the Leash and my band runs a great podcast called Bass Lessons in Melbourne.
Bass Lessons in Melbourne.
So anyone who's interested in bass, have a look at that, because he's got this magic art of just getting in these great touring bassists who come through Melbourne. He's had Michael League from Snarky Puppy. He's got Rocco from Tower of Power.
Wow, unbelievable.
As an interview. Heaps of great players. Jimmy Haslip.
Oh,
so
yes.
Maybe Craig, you should head up to Eltham Way and find this bloke and pick his brains about it.
We will exchange details, and I'll put him on to Mr. Skelly because he has some fantastic stories.
That'd be so cool.
I think he was with EMI or something in the 60s, and he would say, I rocked in to pick up something, and there's Mark Bolan doing some stuff, and so some great stories.
So it's just regular people for them, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I know, yeah. It's just they soon became legends, much like yourself, Neil.
Oh, I'm a legend in South Melbourne at the moment.
Now, Neil, is there any time you're actually not playing a gig? Do you ever go home?
I don't go home enough.
Your lovely partner lady must be very happy with that.
Yeah, look, I think sometimes it's a relief that I do leave the house.
That's it. I think it's a good thing. You need to have some space.
That's probably a really good segue to this song you wanted to look at.
Ronnie's Blues. Tell me about it. So I've listened. I've been flogging your record. Can I just hold that up?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you can see that there on the camera. There's a bit of a delay if you're looking at it, Neil, but it will appear. This is South by East by Mr. Neil Hawker. This is your first?
My debut record as a leader. Yeah.
Okay, and there's some, apart from yourself, there's some kick-ass players on this record. Who have we? Name a couple of, drop some names.
Yeah, I'll drop some names. There's some bucket list players on there. One of my best musical educations in Melbourne was to go to the Rainbow Hotel in Fitzroy on a Monday night and watch Paul Williamson's Hammond combo.
Yes,
so
talked about that.
I had some players in mind from that gig for many years, thinking if I ever do this, I'll call them.
How did you? So when you got to Melbourne,
so
I'm always fascinated by this sort of stuff. You came to Melbourne. Did you know some people, a couple of people, or not really?
Not really.
So did you just turn up to a few gigs with your guitar and excuse me, sir?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. The blues jams or anything? Or?
Blues jams first, actually. The Melbourne Blues Appreciation Society had the jam running at the Cornish Arms in Sydney Road in Brunswick.
Right.
At the time, and that was a really good time because it wasn't just blues musicians hanging out there. It was musicians of all styles hanging out to play the blues.
Right.
And so I met one of my first gigs in Melbourne was at the Alinda Creek Hotel in Lilydale.
Wow.
Next to the Pokies. It was a jazz gig in the first set, playing Coltrane-y kind of stuff and standards, and then it morphed into a blues gig, and then it morphed into a flat-out Eagles and cover band gig. And
That's cool.
Yeah, it was my first gig in Melbourne, and one of my favourite sax players called David Rex was in the band, and I was just like, okay, this must be Melbourne.
Right.
And then it was all downhill after that.
That's awesome, man.
But,
I think it's very hard to move to another town and slot into the scene and whatever. But I think a lot of people are very welcoming here. And
yeah, I think the one thing I've learned is just do it.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the phone to ring, and which I probably did for a few years. I was a bit lazy, and it wasn't really in the kind of space to have the attitude to just turn up.
Yeah.
But so from the Rainbow years, I ended up getting Tim Neal on the organ on this.
Yes.
James Black on the piano and Rhodes. Now James Black is his most famous band was Mondo Rock.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's also Black Sorrows, and he's a really great New Orleansy kind of piano player when he does the Dr. John stuff. So I got him
love
into
Dr.
that.
John.
Yeah. So but he's also if you've ever watched Rock Wiz, the guy with the cowboy hat and the Telecaster.
Okay, of course. I thought I knew the name. Oh,
Yeah.
right. That's a Japanese Fernandez.
Is it?
Telecaster.
Yeah. And it sounds.
I'm not sure he's doing the gig anymore, but he used to be the guy.
I think the occasional Rock Wiz themed tour comes up, and he does that. He does it.
He's a great player.
He's so cool.
Wow.
Such a lovely guy. And who else did we get? We got Justin Brady on harmonica. He's another one that I watched as a special guest. He was a special guest at the Rainbow quite a lot.
Right.
And he's not your average harmonica player. Like, he plays melodically and he plays nice, and he plays really cool stuff as well as the blues. And he was in Things of Stone and Wood.
Yes, famous.
Happy birthday, Helen.
Happy birthday, Helen.
Yeah,
if you're out there.
and that's his famous screaming harmonica lick at the beginning of that song. And
that's cool.
But in addition to that, I got my two of the guys from my rhythm section. My regular rhythm section is Craig Strain again.
Right. Yeah.
And Remy Dupree on the drums. He's a Dutchman, and he moved to Australia at the tail end of his contract with Cirque du Soleil, I think.
Wow.
But he was in Adelaide first. And
he was a fair player to be doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and he was doing some gigs in Adelaide and stuff, and he moved to Melbourne, and now he's doing the occasional gig with me.
That's That's amazing.
Yeah. Just make sure I'm not missing anyone. Oh, Andre Elhay on the saxophone. He's my regular guy. He's my one-man horn section when the money's tight.
Yeah.
Really great player. He was actually pretty heavily involved in the jazz scene. Sort of modern jazz scene in the not modern, but modern by jazz standards. Probably the early 2000s, and then he's running a photography business now.
Right.
As well.
Okay.
He takes really good pics, and so it was a whole lot of people went into this, and
well, let's do a try. I've been listening a lot, and for some reason I've gone for the slower Ronnie's blues, which I just like the sound of. But the whole record's fantastic, and there's a little bit of Sir Robin Ford influence on there with the vocals, the melody. I think and the playing, of course. But
yeah, I've been trying to. Singing is bloody hard.
Yes.
That's what I'm finding is being a front man, and I think initially the guitar players I'm listening to the most, I'm probably going to emulate their voice to start with. So. But I'd love to sound like Robert Cray, but there's a few limitations there.
He is unbelievable. I mean, there's certain guys who are just amazing players like Robert, and just singers to die for. But
that's why this is the first song I wrote in this. Well, this is the oldest song on the album.
Oh, right.
So it was written for years.
I've got it on the big screen here.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the chart myself because it's been a while.
I have to read the chart. I've got some new glasses on, and they're multifocal, so I might actually take them off so I can see what I'm doing.
It's nice and big, though. It's good.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah, does it
That's what happens when you're old.
Yeah.
Well, should we? I'll tell you what. Why don't we run through? I'll play some chords. I'll attempt to do it.
Yep. Do you want me just to play the head? Just go.
Yeah, play the head, and then maybe I'll run straight back through and give us a solo or something. And you know, I might have a crack at it and get out of alive. And yeah. Ooh. Put some. Let's go a bit of dirt. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. Yeah. I've done one of the cardinal sins. I have a feeling my guitar is fractionally out of tune.
That's all right. I heard those notes and I just didn't play them.
It's just a little bit out. Now, Neil, when you're soloing, so for those who have tuned in, excuse my that's what it was.
Speaking of tuned in,
string, dearie me. Always check your tuning, children, before you start. Now, it's blues in B flat.
Yeah.
Starts on a B flat 9, but let's just take... So a basic blues is really just 3 chords. Yeah. And you're adding a little bit more than 3 chords.
Yeah.
So why are you adding... When you go from chord 1 to 4, and then you add the A flat 13, diminished...
Yep.
To walk back into the B flat. Yep. Is it basically just trying to walk back into it? Why did you do that?
It's pure passing chords. It gives the whole thing motion.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you need to... A lot of people see like a whole bunch of extra chords in a blues and kind of panic a bit. Go, how am I going to play over it? But still at the core of it all, it's still a 1-4-5 blues. Right. With maybe just a slightly different turnaround.
So are you sticking with a B flat minor pentatonic blues or a major pentatonic?
Both.
Right.
So I guess what Robin Ford calls the salt and pepper.
Right.
You know, the dark and the light, the rural and the uptown kind of sound. So you might. So you're I mean, I love leading with a third just to outline the chord. You know?
Okay. So fine. And then I go to the E flat.
It's I mean, I did some extra Joe Passish kind of things in there, I guess, but you can just play regular blues over the whole progression. I mean, I guess that's one of the challenges that I see a lot of guitar players come across. I've been to a fair few jam sessions, and it's just because they haven't encountered the easy way of doing it.
Right.
I mean, learning the harmony and stuff like that isn't terribly easy, but it's not hard either.
Yes.
But you learn what you can get away with.
Yeah.
And usually in this sort of blues, the chords are just there to make you sound good playing over the top. Really, yes. I mean, the harmony just makes your single lead notes sound better. They highlight certain things as well. Give you a bit of background on this too. I actually wrote this back in my university days.
Yes.
With under Jim Kelly, and it was just really me trying to be a jazz guy. It was my up tempo Kenny Burrell kind of song. So it started. That kind of thing, but it was a bit cheesy, like, and especially in my hands, like in Kenny Burrell's hands, completely fine. But
a bit of Kenny
is a combination of the bare bones 1625 blues that I wrote, plus a few extra things that he brought to the table. So he's got partial songwriting credit on the song, but not complete. But at the center of it all, there's stuff like 6 chord there, which is very typical, and you can just.
What are you playing there?
Well, usually over the 6 chord, it's leading to the 2 chord, so it's going
okay
for a C minor chord like that. So we're going to get nerdy here, guys, real nerdy. So what you do is, I usually play like an altered scale, which if you watch, or a diminished scale. So a really good tip for anyone who wants to add these flavours to their blues is just go and get Blues and Beyond by Robin Ford.
Blues and Beyond, but is that a DVD?
It's a DVD and an accompanying booklet. But there's he knows how to speak almost guitar player's language to learn that kind of stuff. So I guess it's a point of tension. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then your 2 chord, you can ignore it.
Yep.
Ignore the 5 chord.
What's that 5 chord?
Well, instead of playing a regular 7th chord, I'll just do like what we call an 11. It's very soul music kind of stuff to do. So it's like an E flat over F.
Oh, yep.
Or if you want to play it easy,
yep. I like that one.
Or which means you can add the 13 up, that kind of stuff. But look, I know all this kind of stuff because I'm a studied, learned, kind of harmonic musician. But like I say to when I go to some of these blues jams and stuff, if you hear these chords flying by, rest assured that all your pentatonic stuff is going to work over it.
Right.
If you still don't believe me, watch some BB King.
Yes. BB.
Because there'll be a 1625 going past instead of a 145 blues.
Yes.
And he'll get away with just.
Yes.
And right, so
sweet.
There's nothing fancy going on there, but it's just the chords make the lead part.
Yes.
For lack of better expression, sound great.
That's cool. So, that's amazing.
Yeah, but there's heaps of other things you can do in there, but I don't know if we've got time on a live to wear on Facebook.
Well, I mean, I tend to get a lot of people who come in and they're like, "Man, I've never had a lesson. I don't believe in anything to do with it." And I always think, well, I'm glad you're not a pilot flying a plane because we're going to crash.
I'm glad you're not making my bacon and eggs.
Yeah, I prefer chefs.
I prefer a chef any day. Yeah,
cool, man. Yeah. So, all right. So I love that tune, and thanks so much for that. And hopefully, it sounds in tune now. Say we go to a blues jam, and it's just. I want to do something funky as well, but say we take something like Crossroads or Cocaine. I should put Cocaine in the title, and then we'll get more hits.
Cocaine,
but so. Let's do that. If I take, the... What are you going to play over that?
What everyone else does.
minor pentatonic, E blues.
E minor pentatonic mostly, with all your with your blue note, you know.
Yep.
Something else there too. So the song basically, as everyone who's encountered this, it's a song in the key of E.
Yes.
But it goes down to a flat 7, which is a D chord, right? Just
D major.
So basically, all we're doing over an E chord to me is we're going from E to D. So I'm hearing that kind of suspended sound. There's a bit more colour in it. So.
Yeah.
But
so you're not thinking, because when I think E to D, I'm thinking the key of A.
Yeah, right.
But I never, whenever I hear Clapton play anything over that, for instance, or he doesn't sound like he's doing anything.
No,
Mixolydian.
I think he's just.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, just all your safe major and minor pentatonic stuff. I'm at the point now where the major and minor pentatonic stuff is a blur.
Right.
It's a blur because a lot of guys, when you first learn it, and like I did too, is you learn your pentatonic box here for minor over E, and then over E you go down 3 frets and play the major one. Same shape.
Yep.
Which is more of your country kind of soul kind of sound. But if you mix the two, I know how to play both of them in both positions. So they're one and the same, you know. So it's a mixture of the bright and the dark. I mean, and a lot of guitar players will harp on about the Mixolydian scale quite a lot.
Yes.
But when you mix those two scales together, you're getting the majority of the Mixolydian anyway.
Yeah.
But you're not thinking of modal stuff. You're thinking of the blues.
Yeah.
So
would that be the same if we take something like Crossroads?
Crossroads.
It would be A. It's like a shuffle in A.
Yeah.
How's it?
Yep. Yep. Just the blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of thing. So A major pentatonic.
So I mean, look, I'm not doing anything there. The average person doesn't know, you know. But I guess there's influences too. It's not even a theoretical music thing either. Like I listen to a lot of blues players who have that brighter sound to them as well. So if you're just listening to Gary Moore, if you're just listening to the rock end of the blues, you're gonna have that darker urban kind of sound. It's going to be very straight ahead pub rock almost. But like if you're listening to Robin Ford, if you're listening to B.B. King, if you listen to the Allman Brothers, especially the sort of blues artists who have a bit more of that country feel. Keb Mo. As well. It's
Keb.
It's going to come out and you're playing if you sit down and actually have a look at it. You know, so.
Well, let's talk. Let me quiz you. I think we're going all right for time. I want to quiz you on some funk. What time you got there?
Funk. I got 10 to 10. Jeez, we've been yakking for a bit.
Yakking away. All right. So pickpocket funk, straight out of the 70s. With some advancements. So say I take something that whenever I go see a band that's come out of one of the uni courses or something. They always seem to play Cissy Strut.
Yeah.
And I don't. It must be one of those things that people learn there. But when it gets to that point, so you've got the.
Yep. Yep.
And after you. Whatever it is.
Yep.
It goes to a C9, I think.
Yep.
What are you going to play over that? If I'm just sitting on one chord,
Yep.
have you got? I mean, I think of that chord and it's in the key of F. What are you?
It's this, yeah, I know why you say F because it's the 5 chord of F.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. But I still look at it as the key of C and then I just play my stuff on it.
Right.
Well, I think first and foremost, I think the biggest lesson in that is the chord itself.
Right.
It's basically if you're looking to play blues or funk or anything like that. Hey,
that's JD.
String changing tools.
Oh, the winders.
Not winders, not like a needle or pliers for this stuff.
Oh,
There or something.
does someone want to change the strings?
Yeah.
Like right now?
I can do it.
You sure? All right, can they hang?
I'm pretty good at
All right, hang on.
So,
Excuse me 1 minute. I just have to leap in front of the camera.
hang on, are you running a music store here?
We're actually open for business.
How very dare you?
There we are. 1, 2, and yeah, there should be a winder out there. That was JB.
I guess that C9 chord is the basis of all sorts of American music. You know, like,
Right.
you know, I mean, funk is one thing. You know, like if you're not sure
I
how to
love
play
the
funk,
meters.
learn this chord and you'll be playing it. I reckon.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, it's a Hendrix staple as well.
Yeah. So Cissy Strut, right? Blues.
Hold it. Oh, what the hell are you playing there, Neil? I'm loving that.
All right.
Now I'm lost.
So
You've lost me, Neil.
the coolest
I'm
thing,
back.
the coolest thing about a 7th chord,
Mm.
right, is that you can play your minor pentatonic, your major pentatonic, and that combination. But you can also play lots of outside notes over it, and the chord will cop it. The chord will take it.
Yes.
So the easiest one is basically your half step, whole step thing.
Yep.
So in
So
guitar,
this
in
is a
tablature talk,
diminished. You're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. So tablature talk, you start from the root note, which is C,
See.
right? And we're just going to go upper fret, up 2 frets, upper fret, and then go down to the next. Right. So. And I mean that's every jazzy blues guitar player or sax player or piano player or whatever. That's a tool that they use all the time.
Okay.
And they'll either use it to pass to the next chord,
Yep.
or if it's a static chord like Cissy Strut, it's
Yep.
just to add colour. So
Right.
you can mix
So
between
you're
the two.
playing a C half step, whole step scale.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So basically, you follow that pattern all the way down the neck. Now play music with it.
I put the flat 9 in.
that kind of stuff, you know. So, I know how to make little triads out of those notes too.
Right.
So there's like, you know, very typical Schofield.
Did you say Schofield?
John Schofield.
Schofield,
yeah.
a little bit of John.
And, all that kind of stuff. So,
Greg Dodd says something. Huh?
Oh, hey, Dotty.
Hell, I only know 5 notes.
Oh, but Dotty plays them well.
Dotty has its amazing heart.
Yes.
And love.
Yes, and he does.
Mr. Dodd.
Greg Dodd does a lot of great charity things as well.
He does.
He does charity gigs, and I think the last one was for people of Bali.
It was. I did see something about that. So, Mr. Dodd is
Greg, nice work.
A super nice gentleman. Come in, Greg.
Yeah.
We want you here.
Yeah, man. Oh, there you go. There's another blues scene fiend.
Absolutely. Mr. Dodd does a lot of gigging. Speaking of gigging, my brain's trying to catch up with all of this super high-tech gear that you've got with you. What are you playing at the moment?
This is not for sale. So I'm completely useless for this.
You will never be able to have this.
No, this is not for sale. This is a Stratocaster I had built in the early 2000s by a luthier in Casino in New South Wales.
Lovely. So it's a Strat style guitar.
Strat style.
A lovely piece of rosy rosewood.
Yeah, alder body, Brazilian rosewood fretboard.
Brazilian, wow.
Yeah, so I'm not selling it.
Okay.
And your fancy bird's eye maple neck, which virtually does nothing for the tone, but it looks fantastic.
It does look good.
But it's a nice hard piece of maple too, so the neck doesn't move.
No.
Vintage tuners. I originally had some Chris Kinman pickups in there.
Oh yeah.
Because Jim's actually an associate of Chris's, he's known him for quite a long time, and he had some prototypes in the workshop before he started.
Wow.
So I got the prototypes for the noiseless.
Very nice.
Ones. I love them, but I took them out. So I just wanted more of a classic Fender tone.
Yeah. It's very hard to get noiseless pickups that sound like legit.
It's the eternal struggle, and
he's about as close as you're going to get.
And I'm still considering maybe in the future a modern set of his, like his version of a Texas Special or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they were called now.
He's got the Hendrix style and the '69 Woodstock style.
Woodstocks are super, really they bark.
Right.
They're pretty hot, those pickups. But,
I met him. When I was living in Sherricombe, I'll be very quick with this because we're running out of time, but I was living in Sherricombe up in Brisbane, and one of my brother's friends was living with me, and it's his uncle. Yeah. So I went to his 21st birthday party. Sure enough, uncle turns up with a bunch of guitars, handmade stuff. So this is mid-90s, early 90s. So he was still living in Brisbane at that stage. But I think he's over... last I heard, he was in the Philippines or something.
Yeah, right.
Kinman, so
operating out of Asia. Still making pickups. Yeah.
It was a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
But sadly, yes.
But they sounded amazing, but they just weren't quite... Of course, they just weren't quite Fendery.
Nice. And that thing sounds amazing. Going into a 1970 twin. I spared no expense for Sir Neil just to get him in here.
Very nice. So I know he's trying to get me to buy it, I'm sure. But
I've chained him to it, so you can't live without it. Well, look, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. Can we promote some things for you? What gigs have you got coming up? You've got White Night tonight, or tomorrow morning early.
Yeah, so
2 a.m.
White Night tonight at 2 a.m. We're doing some Tower of Power songs out in the street.
Yes, lovely.
Back on the streets.
Back to Oakland.
Yeah, I should mention that this is Jim Mills, the guy who made this, by the way. Hi, Jim.
Jim Mills will maybe watch the replay of this.
We never know. I'll tag him so he does.
We've only got 30,000 people on at the moment, we get a few more on the replays.
So we got Off the Leash, which is the Tower of Power thing tonight. 31st of March, doing some blues down at the Soundbar in Rosebud.
Yep.
Rosebud West actually, so it's a bit nicer than Rosebud.
It's more
beachy.
Is it on the beach?
Nearly across the road, I think. Okay. It's on the Nepean Highway from memory,
Rosebud West?
Yes.
That's down young Mr. Jimmy Hocking way, I think he lives.
Down that way, apparently, yeah.
Is he Mount Eliza? He's somewhere there.
I don't know. I don't stalk these guys. But,
I do.
It's your job to do so, I know.
I have to stalk you.
And then the week after, on the 7th, is Newport Bowling Club.
Okay.
as well. So
Lovely.
I've never done either of those gigs before, so
Wow.
that'd be a fun thing to
Well,
see.
my previous lesson this morning's from Newport. Didge, if you're watching, head to Newport.
Ah, right.
South by East. Can I just hold that up one more time?
Yeah.
South by East is the record for Neil. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's some of the. This is I'm not trying to get anything from Neil.
Brace myself.
But yeah, it's some of the finest axe work I've heard in Australia for some time.
Thank you.
So it's very impressive. If you like blues that meets jazz with some tasty vocals and some amazing players from Melbourne, it's unbelievable. So
Thank you,
man,
Anthony.
thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
Sorry,
me.
I was a little bit out of tune on Ronnie's Blues. I feel a bit disappointed with that, but
It's
we'll,
all right.
we'll have a crack at it
It's
again.
in tune on the album, so it's all right.
If you would like to hear an in-tune version, perfectly played, get that record. Man, thanks so much.
No worries.
And we're going to replay this soon, so you can check it out forever. Neil Hawker, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool, yay!
Ciao, people. Bye, Mr. Dodd. Bye, Greg.